refresh you guys on this. Lawmakers, a specific person like a CEO or a decision maker. We also have organizations, local government, and then a specific audience. For this, we're going to be dealing a lot with specific audiences because that is what social media is, and figuring out how to use those tools and your social media presence to get to specific people that you want it to go to. Who you target is integral to your campaign, whether it is an online campaign or anything like that. Targeting is the most important part. So moving on, we're going to talk about using social media to your advantage in your campaign. So, number one thing, Angela talked about this, we're going to talk about it again. You have to make sure you have a presence. What does that mean for you? You're going to need to be active on every social media channel that you have. So, the big main two is you need to have a Facebook page, you need to have a Twitter account. Even if your Twitter's not that active, you need to make a handle. From when I was doing campaigns, volunteering, I used my personal Twitter all the time, and it was great, and it's a great way to look like you're activists, so Twitter is a really good tool. And then your Facebook page is obviously an easy way to get likes, and then you find those people that liked you, and see if you can get them to be activists some other way. On a secondary note, you can do YouTube for video content as well as Instagram. Instagram would be a great way to get all of those wonderful, beautiful volunteers and post pictures of them, show people who's involved and why they're involved. Like as Angela pointed out, people love to take the pictures of them doing something exciting. And what is more exciting than the campaign that you love to rebrand you and you're on their post now? It's another helpful tool. Another one, Google Plus. You don't really have to do much with it. You just have to have the page, because with that you can do a branding account, whether it's a branded YouTube, and it will also help with your Google Analytics when people search. You really don't have to do anything with Google Plus. You just need to have it. And then lastly, Snapchat. Now, this is not something that we use because I am a millennial. But I am too old. Like, I don't understand Snapchat. The youth like it. The politicians like it. I mean, Obama, Rand Paul, Bernie Sanders, Hillary, Trump, Marco Rubio, Lindsey Graham, all of them have Snapchats. I don't know what to do with Snapchat, but politicians like Snapchat and young people like Snapchat. So you should have a Snapchat. You should get a young person to run your Snapchat. I need a young person to run my Snapchat. Also, website. Angela touched on this. It's imperative. Thomas, can you help me? So we all remember all of the crap that went on in 2016 with all of the campaigns that bought other websites. So remember specifically the Carly campaign. She was about to go on to Seth Meyers, and they were giving her crap that someone had bought one of her like .com or .net and put a whole bunch of sad faces.
Do you know?
So then she went on to Seth's show and kind of got back at him.
It's Myers.org.
Certainly have no idea.
I do.
You do?
I do. I just bought it in the green room.
You just wanted to do it.
So you better be really nice to me.
Oh my goodness.
Really, I did. I just bought it. So, you know.
They're what kind of scratch?
You know,
they're what kind of scratch?
Actually, it was really cheap, Seth, I have to tell you.
Really?
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. Well, you know what? I'm going to start laying people off so you have something to put on it.
So that's a great example, right? So the three main ones is .com, .org, .net. You're going to run a campaign with a website, you need to make sure you have all three. And they can all reroute to the main one. So your main one is probably going to be campaignamazing.com or .org, I guess. Just make sure they all reroute to each other so that your opponent doesn't do that, and so that when you get interviewed on Seth Meyers, you can get back at him like that. Make sure to engage with your audience daily. I run the social media page for Stand United. We have over 1 million likes. We post 8 times a day. It is a lot, but for a smaller page, you probably just need to do it a couple times a day. But just make sure that once you start building that audience, that you keep them engaged. You want to make sure that they like you and they don't just unsubscribe or they just unlike you. I always do this where we all go through our pages that we like, and I'm like, this one hasn't posted in a long time, so I'm just going to get rid of it, right? We all clean house. So if you make sure that you have a more active page, that will make people want to keep you on when they decide to clean house. So the bigger your audience is, the more you need to post. So if you still have a smaller campaign, that's fine. Post a couple times a day, but as you continue to build, you need to start doing more and more posts to keep them active. A big important thing is to make sure you're varying content. We have all been seeing those pages that you like them, and the only thing they post is telling you to do something for them, right? And they don't post anything else. What are you going to do with that page? You're going to unlike them, right? Or unsubscribe, whatever. So you want to make sure that it's great to ask your followers to do something for you. But you got to give them other stuff too, whether it is sharing funny videos. Our audience loves the daily dog videos because it is totally non-political and it is cute, and they find reasons to argue about it, but inherently there's nothing to argue about, and it keeps our followers engaged. And it's easier to create your varied content as your audience continues to work with you. It can be something as easy as, my bad, wrong slide. So another thing, when you are working on your page, you have the opportunity to view other pages. So if you're doing a political campaign, you're going to want to watch your competitors, whether it's a primary, you want to find all of their campaigns and watch them and see, so you can see their posts, you can see their reach, as well as everything else. So we actually post more than all of our competitors / Heritage is more just like a similar page to ours. We post more and have bigger engagement than all the rest of them, even though they all have more likes than us. So just something good to keep in mind as you're working with this. So why should you diversify your content? There are, the easiest answer to this is your Facebook algorithm. They prioritize different types of content. Biggest one, images are going to rank higher than words. So posting a link with a bunch of words is going to get the pushed down lowest on people's newsfeed. Videos are going to rank higher than images. Live videos rank the highest of all. We have actually been doing Facebook Live for the past 2 hours, thanks to this helpful little tripod over here, which gets pushed to the top of all of your active people's feeds. We actually have a whole thing where Angela or I get on every week and we do fun stuff on Facebook Live, and it helps build our audience. Your diversifying your content could be as easy as a fun little meme that tells people to take an action, and something super easy like about vets, right? People are gonna love that, even though it may have nothing to do with your campaign theory, or it could be something as simple as a quote from someone like Ronald Reagan that your audience would love as well. So going from there, let's talk about some tools that you can use. And I've got, yes?
How do you diversify your content but still stay on message or on brand?
Well, that's a good question. With diversifying your content, you're gonna have to break away from messaging a little bit. When it comes to sharing something fun like a dog video, that's not going to be on anyone's message per se, but it is going to activate your audience. It's also going to give, as people interact with that, it pushes it to other people's Facebook. So it comes down to a thing of, is that a good step for you guys to make to kind of help grow your page and grow your audience? There's always going to be that risk, and that really comes down to a personal thing of, I know when Facebook's first start, a lot of time branding is a big thing, and then as you start to build and to kind of start to build your brand, then you might have a little bit more flexibility to kind of diversify outside of always having messages, if that makes sense. So I know for political campaigns that can be really hard because it's all about really short trying to win. So maybe coming up with like a fun video of your activists and your volunteers doing something zany. So you're on the message and that these people are associated with our campaign, but they're just doing something fun, whether it's like running through a sprinkler or walking a dog, or what about a video of all of your campaign people's dogs? I mean, so you get the dogs, which everyone likes, and then it's all your campaign people. You just gotta think of fun ways to do that you could do that. So moving on. We have tools for all sorts of budgets. So if you are a small campaign, you don't really have a budget, you can use things like TweetDeck or Hootsuite. It's completely free. It's great for Twitter. You can use it to track other people's pages. Once again, make sure that one of the first pages you're tracking is your opponents or really active volunteers for your opponents. You can also track hashtags. So if you have decided that a certain hashtag is for your campaign, you can make sure you can have that tracked as well. And it also helps you find other tweets that might be in the same area as yours. As Angela was saying with the thunderclapping, like this is a great tool to find everyone else that is tweeting what you are, tweeting with the same subject, and then you can retweet them easily. Facebook Power Editor and page posts. This is going to be the back end of your campaign Facebook page once you've got that started. It's really easy once you get to the top of your ads manager. These are the two that you're going to want to need. That can make you easily be able to see any ads that you have running, any posts that you have running. You can see how their reach is. You can edit them if necessary. It's a completely free tool once you have your page set up. Facebook Live, completely free. Easy way to diversify content, and it is always going to be pushed to the top because Facebook is prioritizing live video. Hashtags, like what we were saying with TweetDeck. You can also use hashtags on Facebook. That makes it easy. You can click on them. We all have seen those and find the other stuff. So I think a really good part for a campaign is to make sure you have a dedicated hashtag, just so that it's easy for you as the social media person, if you are that person, to find the other content, and then it can help other activists find each other as well. And then share this. So we're going to touch back on something Angela had talked about, the viral content aspect. Share This is the tool that I used to track our viral content. It is a completely free platform that you can use. It will get you the data and the tech code. Once again, not a tech person. I just gave it to someone else. They install on your website, and then you can see, like, if a post, if you have a blog, you can find out if your blog is going viral. There's a really easy WordPress plugin for it. You can get an email, or you can get like a Slack notification if you have Slack, and it will tell you when your content's going viral. And from there, it will be great for you to do an A/B test, which is how you're going to test your messaging. It's really important to do things like A/B testing, so that when you're spending money or when you're putting a message out there, you know what is resonating with your audience best. So an A/B test would be two of the same posts. You're going to change the wording a little bit. If you're unsure what your headline should be, you can just change your headline. One headline can be one wording, the other headline can be a different wording. I would encourage everything to be the same on your test except for one item. Whatever the item is that you're unsure of, that should be the part that is the difference. You do your A/B test, and you'll be able to see which one is resonating better, and then you'll be able to use an efficient cost if you're putting money behind it or whatever else.
Is that for Share This?
Share This. Yep. They have that capability right there that you can do A/B testing on Facebook posts. But you should do A/B testing on anything. There's a lot of different platforms and ways to do that. When it comes to emails, you should A/B test those, anything like that. For a low budget, Facebook ads can be adjusted for any type of budget that you need. You could do a Facebook ad for like $25 if you wanted, or as big as you want. So that is a great way to build your audience. And the algorithms work really well to make sure that you are putting it in the correct eyes, as long as you get your targeting right. And for larger budgets, we've all posted on Facebook, Twitter, all of that, right? So if you're running a campaign, so you have your personal Facebook, then you probably have your campaign Facebook. You might have a candidate Facebook on top of that. You've got your Twitter, you've got your campaign Twitter, you probably have a candidate Twitter. That's 6 accounts right there, right? It's a pain in the butt to have to post on all of those, right? So, if you have a larger budget, I would suggest you get something like Sprout Social, which is what I use, to post on everything at once. So you can pull it up and you can post on just one page. You can easily check and uncheck everything that needs to go. They have the capability to be able to post photos on Instagram as well, but that way you can schedule them way ahead of time. So for weekend posts, that's how State of United continues to post on the weekend. I'm not there, but Sprout Social has my back. So there are a lot of other tools that you can use too, but you definitely need to find something like that as you continue to grow and get more. It'll help you save on manpower in the long run too. This is an example of the plan overview for Sprout, so you can kind of see it can be kind of pricey. There are definitely cheaper versions available, but this is definitely something to look at. So I touched basic on Facebook ads, so I want to explain the difference between a couple of them. The main ones you could probably use in a campaign. So first we have Facebook lead ads. You may or may not have seen these. The big difference, they're really good for local campaigns, and they allow users to take action without ever leaving Facebook. So here's an example of something that it looks like. It's got the sponsored post going on, you've got your lovely little image, and then you just click the sign up button. Here's another one that was a really local issue. It did amazing on lead ads. It was like 90 cents a lead, which is really low for a local issue. It was about a gas station in like a neighborhood. Did really well on lead ads. So when the person clicks sign up, they're going to get this placeholder, and it'll be how you can fill out how much or how little information you need. So if the campaign is looking for volunteers, lead ads would be a great way to kind of advertise your campaign, and you can capture their information, and then you can easily get their information, call them up, and get them to start working on your campaign. Once again, you can adjust that to as big or as little of a budget as you need. So you could do it for $25, you could do it for $100. It's up to you on that aspect of it. Another good thing is when you do a lead ad, you have an option to put a welcome page, just like anything else. For campaigns, this is you can do your bullet points of why you need them to sign up. So working with our Facebook marketing person in the background, it's a really good way, even though you have that extra click, which a lot of people, you think if there's too many clicks, people aren't going to sign up. But adding the extra click is actually going to increase the quality of your leads, because they read your welcome page, they liked what your welcome page said, then they still clicked anyway and filled out the form. That means they're going to be more dedicated to whatever it is you're asking them. So a welcome page on a lead ad is a really good way to get a better quality leads. So now we're going to talk about traffic ads. This is another sponsored post. These are going to be better for national. See, you've got your images, you've got everything. This could be like, you have a post that's doing really well on your page, and you could boost it, which would be a way, and this would be a way to kind of take that post. It usually shows up as a Facebook post in the sponsored page, but it is going to be taking people off of Facebook. So, for us, as a platform where we want people to sign petitions, it's perfect. And for a lot of other things, if you're trying to get them to sign something on your website, I know a lot of campaigns do petition websites as well. That's another good way to do that. So how do you get your message efficient and cost effective? So the biggest thing you need to think about is experimenting. You can never assume that what you've tried in the past is going to work again. You need to make sure you're assessing your campaign goals constantly, fine-tuning them, and be willing to try different techniques. So if you have never tried Facebook lead ads, maybe this is the day you try that, because you just learned about it, and it can be pretty cost-effective for local campaigns. You have to be willing to try it to know if it works. Start with a smaller budget. If it doesn't work, be willing to jump ship if you need to as well. And then don't assume that what you worked in the past has worked now. So if you had something in the past that did really, really well, and you're kind of starting it over and it's chugging along, but it's not doing how it did in the past, it's probably a good time to reassess your campaign goals and try to come up with a new way. Tailor your messaging is a huge aspect as well. Facebook is a really good tool for that. With their insights, you can actually go in your Facebook likes and kind of see what your audience looks like. And A/B testing is what we were talking about, share this earlier. A/B testing is a good way. If you're unsure of how the wording is going to go over with your audience, this is a really great way to do that as well. A big factor for any campaign is your age. If you're spending money, you are most likely going to want to filter out anybody under 30. Millennials are just not good people to advertise to. We are expensive, we are really picky about what we click on, and you're probably wasting money trying to reach us. We've all done it. I have gotten like annoying groups advertising in my Facebook because they're just doing a generic woman in this age range or whatever, and I click it because I'm a marketing person and I know it costs them money, which is why it's probably better to make sure that you're tailoring your audience and you know who you're advertising to, and you might just want to take millennials out completely and find other ways to reach them that doesn't cost you money. And make sure to take advantage of that age targeting demographic in anything. You can do it with Facebook posts, you can do it with ads. If you just start a general ad on Facebook, your targeting is automatically going to be either 13 and up, which is everyone, or 18 and up. And you don't need to do that. Most likely you need to filter out the younger ones, and it'll help you be more cost effective. This is our audience. Why would we spend any money on anybody, I mean really even in that age range? So it's just, and a lot of your Facebook audience is going to look that way. Facebook skews older, and the younger generation just isn't as active. So just keep that in mind, and you can pull up your own insights to see like how your page is doing on that as well. All right, so now I have a scenario. Let's walk through this, and then I'll ask you guys some questions, okay? So we sent a client 500 leads for a petition that they ran with us. The client then followed up with a thank you letter, and they welcomed them to their campaign and all of that fun stuff. 39% open rate. That is amazing for email marketing. Client super excited, comes back to us. We send them another 4,000 leads. Client sent the exact same letter as they did the first time, but this time it was only a 10% open rate, which is still really good for email marketing. What do you think happened? Anybody? Timing, yeah.
Well, he didn't. If it's the same exact email, he didn't change up any of the content. So somebody saw the heading, they're like, "Oh, I read this."
Well, so it would have been different leads than the first one that they got. But you're right, absolutely. They A/B testing, like we had talked about, like they sent the exact same email. Maybe they shouldn't have done that. Any other thoughts on what could have happened and why there was such a drastic change in the two?
The issue might be older,
Right.
so it's not as urgent.
Yeah, correct. So there's several factors to this. Part of it is the difference in audience demographics. The first one was significantly smaller than the second one, so your demographics could have changed immensely in those two. So as you said, like they really needed to change up their email and not send the exact same one. Even if it was as simple as changing the subject of their email, that could have helped. And then the second thing, what you were saying, the timing is a huge thing. As soon as you get new leads, you need to make sure you are activating, you are engaging with them, because if too much time goes by, people are going to forget what they signed up for. We've all gotten those emails where you're like, what? When did I sign up for this? Unsubscribe immediately, right? We've all gotten those. You got to make sure you engage with people immediately so they remember, oh yeah, like I signed that petition, or I signed up for this mailing list, like I understand why I'm getting this, as opposed to waiting too long and then forgetting and getting a higher unsubscribe, or even worse, getting a spam rate. So your solution is to make sure that you engage with people as soon as you get them if you're running any type of lead campaign. So some takeaways here. Engaging with new leads right away. Timing was the big thing here. They let too much time go by from when they got their new batch of leads to when they engaged with them and said, hey, welcome to the club. A/B testing is another big thing that you need to make sure that you're testing. You've always got to make sure your messaging is right for the demographics of your audience. Another really awesome thing is that you can get your database to link up immediately. If you're doing Facebook lead ads or whatever, you can go into the back end and download all of those ads on your own. But if you have the capabilities, there is API, Facebook API that you can put onto your website so that those leads immediately go into your database. So as soon as that person does the lead ad, it immediately feeds into their database, and then you can get them right away. So you don't have to worry about the timing being too long from when you collected them. And even better would be to get a transactional email immediately. So that person signs, takes their action on Facebook or whatever, and you immediately send them that email within 30 minutes of them taking that action. They're going to be really engaged. They might still be steamed from whatever you ask them to do, and they're going to be more likely to be involved with you. All right, so we have another scenario here. So the American Medical Association, which is one of the groups that we work with, submitted an online petition with us to talk about Medicare and their meaningful use regulations. How many of you have heard of that? Yep, me either. All right, so this is going to be a huge challenge because A, no one has heard of it, even people that might be on Medicaid. So they need to educate people. They need to explain why people should be mad or be against the issue. And then they also want to get leads out of it, right? So AMA used their social media, display advertising, emails, and collected over 15,000 signatures on the petition that they ran with us while educating people and getting them steamed on this. So let's take a look at some of the things that they did. So here's their petition. It's going to be kind of what Angela was saying. It's going to be the longer couple of paragraphs that you have going on. That's always going to be a longer part of whatever your action page is always going to have the most explanation of why you are doing what you're doing. They also sent out an email from us, which it wasn't the exact same as what they had on their action page. You never want to just copy and paste from your website and put it in an email and send it, because that would be annoying. You have to come up with a new wording and a new reason why. First of all, why are they getting this email? So maybe something just what happened in the house, or maybe your candidate just said something crazy, and so you need to let them know. And also, by the way, here's something that we've already been talking about, that kind of thing. And then their display ads and Facebook. So they did Facebook posts like what we had been talking about, the sponsored posts. Simple. One sentence saying what's wrong with it, and then telling people to sign the petition. Really easy. And they also did display ads, which even shorter than the Facebook page. And that was what they did. So I'm sure, does anybody have any questions? All right. Well, we are looking forward to happy hour. All of you guys get one drink on us, so make sure it's going to be at Mr. Days, which is down the street. You can see right. I don't live in Clarendon. I live in Reston, so I don't know where anything is. Angela, Katie, and I will be there. Totally come hang out with us, and we'll see you there.
All right. Thank you so much.